Today on LiveWire, we've got a great show for you today. We have some very special guests. They represent an organization that is called the Ring of Democracy, and their logo is a boxing ring. So stay tuned for LiveWire right after this. Hi, I'm Ray Tanner, and with me in the studio is Volma Volsi, who is the Executive Director of Ring of Democracy.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you very much for coming. What a title, what a joy to have you here. And you brought some people. You can introduce yourself.
Hi, Ray. Thank you so much for having us. My name is Scarlett Bustos.
Yes, I do.
And hi, my name is Jose Mezquita Morales.
Good, good. I can't say it that way, but I'll try. Jose Mezquita Morales. I love it. Okay. So thank you so much for being here. And I worked for a number of organizations that were political over my career when my hair was brown. And I didn't really think the current generation of people were as powerful and crazy to do political things as my generation, and I didn't think they could do it at all. And now I'm looking at three people who are in that crazy, got to do it. We have to take care of this country before it slides into somebody's hands. Is that right?
Well, I don't know about sliding in somebody's hands, but the Ring of Democracy is an organization that was founded in 2016, the night of the 2016 presidential election. The reason the Ring of Democracy was founded was because at the time I thought there wasn't going to be any more democracy.
Yeah.
Like almost 8 years later? I don't know.
We don't know. Maybe that's the way it happens the whole time. I was just reading something from the 1920s, a character talking about the upcoming election, and he said something like that too.
Yeah, it's
every year.
It's dire. Our families are in trouble based on who's in office. We represent marginalized communities, but this includes LGBTQ communities. This includes immigrants' families who needs to be able to just be themselves and be humans, right? And unfortunately, who sits in the White House impacts that, right? But the Ring of Democracy is not a political organization. We are apolitical. We are a nonprofit. Our main goal is to engage, educate, organize, and mobilize our communities to have powers for themselves, so they can build their own strength, so they can empower themselves and be in their communities. So that's the main reason why we think voting is of the most important thing to us, especially in communities of color, especially in communities where people tend to not come out and vote because, like, why vote? Like, no one cares about us anyways, right? That's how they tend to feel. But I tell you, you need to vote.
Yeah. Oh, and that's the story. I'm a first generation American. My father and grandfather are from Poland, and they believe in voting, and they hammered it into me, and hammered being part of the system that makes laws.
Yeah.
And does other things. I was with the California Arts Council for 25 years, and made sure that the arts had money from the state.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, as a Haitian American, like a person I'm not saying I'm Haitian American because I was born in this here country. I love this country.
Yeah.
But I was born in Haiti. I grew up in Haiti. I was raised in Haiti,
Yeah.
right? The stuff that, a lot of the stuff that was said and this political cycle or this election cycle, just abhorrent and ugly and dirty, right? And I don't do this because, you know, I want to be involved in politics or we want to be involved in politics. We do this because it's the right thing to do because there are people that are hurting and we so happen to have a voice and we want to utilize it. It matters that everyone goes out and vote. It doesn't matter who you're voting for. We do our part to educate as many people as possible about the candidates in here local races. But we'll say, go out there and vote because as a Haitian man, I can tell you right now, it matters to me that people vote.
Good, and it matters to me too. And I find it fascinating that this whole process is people just get lazy, you know, and in my family, they don't get lazy because I call them up. And I say,
You have to.
You go to the polls. And then also my cousins in Chicago, they call me up and say, you get to the vote.
Yeah, you got to do it.
Yeah, yeah. And how about you? How did you end up being an activist?
Oh my goodness. So Wilma and I go way back. We've known each other for a few years. So one of our main things that we work on is workers' rights. And the reason that I personally am so passionate about workers' rights is that I was injured on the job.
I see.
And I couldn't go to work. They wouldn't allow me to go to work. And so, but my doctor said the best thing I could do to walk was walk.
Wow.
And it was the time of Trump, and so I started walking with a sign in my hand.
Good.
And that's how I met all of these amazing, well now partners, colleagues, and also that's how I met Volma. Out there on the front lines, making sure that we're speaking up, not just for ourselves, but for our communities. I'm first generation, as is Jose. And for me, like voting was not just, you know, something cool that I could do, but I was the very first person to be able to vote in the United States.
Wow.
You know, and so I wasn't just voting for me, I was the voice for my whole family. You know, so we would sit around the kitchen table and talk about how I was going to vote.
Yeah.
You know,
This
and
is
do
great.
that.
This is great. And they tell you, it's like my family, they were saying, when I, you know, would talk about what I'm voting for, you know, some of them would disagree, or they said, and I said, but are you, Uncle Charlie, are you going to vote? You're going to really vote? Am I going to, you know?
Yep.
So I poked him. He did. He did. I asked his wife.
You know, I might have inspired my father a little bit to become a citizen because he and I have political differences.
Yeah?
Let's just say. Hi, Dad. But yeah, we would talk about that, but not just the top. You know, it's not just the top that affects us. It's the whole ticket. You know, who is representing us in the schools? You know,
Absolutely.
whose voice, you know, is going to be on these different, you know, boards and commissions, because like those are appointed, and who gets to appoint them, you know? And it's just, I have a 100% voting record. I voted in every single election since I turned 18.
Oh, good.
And it's always been just kind of at the forefront of what we do. But we not only empower people for civic engagement, but like I said, also for economic justice as well. We want to make sure that people are gaining power however
Yeah,
we
we
can.
need to talk a little bit about that, because, you know, it's very interesting about how we need to get the information certainly into whole neighborhoods that don't vote, you know. And you, who pushed you down here?
Well, it was kind of an accident in some ways. I graduated the year of that year of the election.
Yeah.
I graduated that May afterwards, and I realized, like, oh, all these people are so animated about this. like I always wondered why, right? Because coming from a family that wasn't political, I didn't really know what was going on. I knew who I wanted to win, but I didn't know why I wanted them to win. So I kind of went to college thinking, okay, I'm going to be a psychology major. I'm going to help people in this way. But then, some requirements, you have to take some classes. So I took a political science class. I got the bug.
Yes.
Yeah, so I got the bug. I kind of left that class, like really inspired by that professor. I had him another time after that, and I realized, oh, politics is where it's at. Like, I need to be there. That's where I can use my voice. So, went through college, political science major, went to Davis, had an internship at City Hall at one point. Because, poli-sci majors, they think Washington, D.C., I'm going to go to the Capitol, I'm going to do all these things. I made it to City Hall, and I was like, oh, this is where I want to, make the most impact locally, So, yeah, I kind of was a kid, ambitious, wanted to, get out there, wanted to have my voice heard here in Sacramento. So, was running around trying to find my place, stumbled into certain rooms. I was like, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be. Found myself on picket lines with unions. Thank you to Volma. Forced me out there into the strikes, the local, the Sac State strikes with all the faculty there.
Yes.
Was with the janitors in February out there.
My wife was on that line.
Yeah, at that strike. And, I was like, these are my people, community is my people, but also all that community, we have a collective voice that we can use. And it's about getting them to show up to vote, making sure that they use their collective voice, not just in the workplace, but also at the ballot box, making sure that their voices reach the right ears, because it all depends on who we get in office. Those are the priorities that they're going to have. And if we get the right people in there, they're going to fight for you in those positions of power. They're going to make sure that those in those rooms where all the backroom deals are being made in, they're going to break in the way of the workers and the everyday people. So
Good. So I went to your website and I went through it, and it's beautiful. It gives so much information for people to understand what you do and the programs that you have, Safer at Work and all of those other programs. And so why don't we talk about those programs now? What do you think?
Sure. So we worked in a variety of projects. Like Scarlett mentioned, we do a lot of things around workforce. And right now we're working on some of that. One of the projects that we're working on that I'm most proud of is the California Mortgage Relief Program, where our job was to make sure people who were in forbearance after COVID, who were losing their homes, and they couldn't have a way of being able to afford it. We work with Cal, HFA, to make sure we were catching people up on their mortgages. That was one of the best, as a former unhoused person, I can tell you, making sure people were staying in their homes was one of the most amazing thing to me. That was one of the favorite things that we worked on. Currently, we are working on a few things, but I'll let the rest of the team talk about them because
we have to take a short
work.
break, but we'll be
Awesome.
back after about 30 seconds, and we'll go back and move it along.
Awesome, great.
Okay.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Food can open endless possibilities for people to thrive. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
You are loved. You are valued. You are resilient. You got this.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides at aarp.org/caregiving.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. High blood pressure silently affects millions of Americans. Staying on top of your blood pressure is as simple as these 4 easy steps. Self-monitoring is power. Visit manageyourbp.org to learn more.
We're back with LiveWire. Thank you very much for tuning in. And if you hadn't tuned in, you should know that we're talking with an organization called Ring of Democracy. And, well, they're here because we have an election coming up, and we'd like them to talk about all of that and how people sometimes slip on by and let it go by and don't vote. This is America. I'm sorry. So take it away.
Yeah, so we'll talk about the work we've done over, I guess, the past couple of months to make sure we are educating not just our direct community, but the community overall.
Well, I've been to your website, and people should just jump to that too, because it really tells a lot.
Yeah, so the ringofdemocracy.org.
We have it on the screen.
Awesome. We spent a good amount of time reaching out to every single candidate within our local jurisdiction, right? I think we even went all the way up to Congressional District 3, where we brought in Jessica Morris and brought in Kevin McCarty, Dr. Flo, and a variety of other local candidates, going all the way down from school board, some of the measures happening. Our goal is to be able to educate our community as much as possible, so when they get their ballot in their mailbox, which should have already be in their mailbox, if anyone watching, you haven't filled out your ballot, you should pull out that ballot and then fill it out and then send it out, right? Because you can actually, in Sacramento, you can start voting since the first week of October, really. So you should do that. And we had those conversations. We brought those candidates in this room here, where we were able to have, very, very important conversation about their platforms and what they wish to do for the people of Sacramento. And I think Jose here, who led on that, did an amazing job. And thank you for your leadership on that, sir.
So there are 22
Yeah.
Candidates, right?
Yeah, 22 videos. I did the due diligence of inviting everyone, all political sides, and making sure we had all the voices that wanted to be in the room with us. We had 22 conversations with all kinds of people running for all kinds of things. We went, like Volma mentioned, the school district levels, because that's a very big, that's where a lot of people get started in their political careers. We want to see who wants to make the decisions on the school boards here in Sacramento. We also went up to city council, mayor. We also dipped into West Sacramento. There's some city council and mayor races going on over there. We also went up to Folsom for some city council races. We went to the state assembly level, had to Portia Middleton, who's running in Assembly District 7, and Maggie Curl, who's running for Assembly District 6, came and sat down with us and talked about their priorities if elected, what they want to do. Just having open conversations and bringing that to the people, because a lot of people that we talk to on a regular basis don't know who these people are, see names on a ballot, and they're just like, who are they? Right. They're supposed to be decision makers. I haven't seen them a day in my life. I don't know who they are, what they represent or anything. So our mission was always to bring these people to them. We posted them on our YouTube channel, on the Ring of Democracy YouTube channel.
How will you know you're successful from all of this wonderful work?
Well, yeah, so one thing, obviously views, like making sure people are seeing them, but also directing people and making sure that people they feel, how do I say this? They feel comfortable enough to approach us if they want to know more information about what's on their ballot, Okay. As a nonprofit, we've become trusted advocates, trusted people in the community. So people have become comfortable. They're able to approach us. They do see us and they want to ask questions. They want to know what to do in certain situations, workers' rights or civic engagement, elections. So yeah, our success would be just getting, even if we can get one person to vote that hasn't voted before, if we can get 10 or more, as many people to vote as possible.
Thousand.
Yeah, as many as possible.
5,000.
yeah. If we can get people to vote that have never voted before, that would be a great success to me.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great. So have you chosen some areas of the population where they live and some of the poorer areas or wherever? I got to go to work. You want me to vote? What? You know?
Yeah, and we tell them, like, you know, if you don't vote now, like, it's important to vote, you know, like you never know when the last time you're going to vote or
That's
the
right.
last time any of this will matter to you, you know, like
Yeah.
lives are so incredibly difficult and complex, but it's worth to go out there and vote and have your voice heard.
Right. I guess we just put on the screen almost something you just said.
Oh.
It's really great.
Yeah.
But that's good television. It's very special. So, okay, ringofdemocracy.org has a website.
The
Right.
Ring of Democracy.
Oh, the.
Yeah.
Look at that. The Ring
Yeah.
of Democracy.
Yes.
There's only one ring.
Yeah.
It's one ring.
The Ring.
Only one.
Yeah.
And that we we want to go there and find out because it has all this information about each where they live, what and who's representing them, maybe
Yeah.
over here or over here, down here. You know what I mean? I think so. It's so good what's online that you put online.
Yeah.
So I think that's important, and it's a major service. And you have other services. You have to come back and we talk about those things, you know, that you do.
Well, sure. You want to take it away, Scarlett? Talk a little bit
Oh,
about
sure.
some-
Yeah, absolutely. So, yes, we do those. We did those candidate interviews, which is very exciting. They're also available on your Channel 17. It's very exciting.
Oh, Channel 17. Wonderful thing, Channel 17. I love that.
On demand. Xfinity and Roku. But also we do civic engagement presentations at different schools and things like
So
that.
if I have a school and I'll listen to you come and talk about what it means to vote.
We try to make it relatable
That's
as
right.
much as possible. And we also do workers' rights presentations.
Workers' rights, of course.
Absolutely. So one of the projects that we've been most proud of, while I've been here this short time, is the California Workers Outreach Project, California Workers Outreach Project, CWOP.
Okay.
And what we do for that, we make sure that we're going to the most marginalized communities. We're engaging these people. We have a lot of conversations at different food banks or different events in the community. You know, we're out there talking to folks, and we've heard a lot of stories. We've heard a lot of heart-wrenching stories about how people have been taken advantage of. And so we're lucky enough that we get to intervene and direct them, you know, to something that could potentially help them.
Yes.
And that's a really beautiful feeling.
That's great. That's great. Good. And so you are the board as well? Do you have a nonprofit?
No, Volma is the only board member present.
Okay.
Currently, we're worker bees.
Yeah.
A worker bee. Right, that's
We're
right.
all
Exactly
worker
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't work. He just.
Yes.
I doubt that.
Yeah.
I could see the fire in your eyes, all three of you, and I think that is so amazing and good. You know, I come from the '60s, and the fire in the eyes had to do with war, of course, but you guys are, I hope, the forerunners of a number of organizations that does what you do, and brings about more people to elections and service organization and a service organization that provides actually real services and connects with organizations like the AFL-CIO and say, hey, there's other people who are out here doing the work. Yeah, don't you think? Yeah. Good. Any last sayings? Anything?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say something and then you all can take it away. For me, I guess I can't say it enough when it comes to going out there and voting, right? I guess being in California, we take it for granted like so much, but like what are like our rights to vote is, right? There's a lot of states where they are working continuously to just take people's rights away, right? So please exercise the right to vote, right? We just don't know what 4 years from now is going to look like. As Americans, and we have a privilege, and we should exercise that privilege. And also, I want to reemphasize that the Ring of Democracy is an organization that is open to our community. The reason we call it the Ring of Democracy is because we want to democratize access to the political process, access to good paying jobs, access. We just want to democratize everything so people can actually have a better life for themselves for today and tomorrow. But I'll pass it over to my colleagues.
My only request is that you all vote yes, of course, even if it's day of, go and fill out your provisional ballot. Please do that. But also, we have some stuff that's going to be coming up in the works.
Stuff. Give me more programming.
We have lots of things we do. We do a lot of workforce development. So stay tuned for some job fairs, union job fairs coming up. And also, we're going to be part of a big project to really make sure that people are on the forefront of this technology-heavy economy that is coming up. We want to make sure that people are educated about EVs. Like, we have a partnership with SMUD. We're doing some videos for that. So stay tuned for that.
I'll stay tuned for that.
That's going to be on Access.
Stay tuned on Access Sacramento. All right.
Right. So those as well, and we're always looking to collaborate with our wonderful, wonderful local community partners.
Good. 1 minute, and we got to go.
Vote. Please vote. I can't.
Okay, well, we'll see you back here sometime.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you all so much for coming down to talk to me about what you do. And it's a half an hour show. I think we barely touched on some of the things that you could talk more about. And so coming back is not a joke. It's an option. Okay.
Please.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, we'll be back next week with LiveWire. And we hope you get out there and vote.
Awesome.